said, wow, I've got all this stuff. I'm going to build barns, and I'm going to put all my stuff in there, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this with my stuff, and I'm going to do that with my stuff. Look through this parable. Look how many times it says I and me and mine. And not once does he mention God in that whole process. He totally left God out of the process of his life. And really what happens is he's kind of confused between ownership and stewardship. You see, he thought he was the owner. Our faith tells us God is the owner. God's the one who owns it all. Life itself. We're the stewards. And we're called to take care of what God has given us. And to keep God in that planning process of our lives. Because you see, when this man is focused only on himself, his resources are only used for himself. And for the wrong purposes. He says, soul, I've done really good here. Wow. I'm going to store all this stuff for myself. I'm going to sit back, relax. I'm just going to take it all in. I've hit the good life now. I'm going to keep it all to myself. See, he lived his life as though God didn't even exist. As though God didn't exist. And then the next thing you know, he has all this stuff and all these barns. And God says, guess what? It's not going to do you a bit of good. You've forgotten the most important factor in your life. My presence. My hand of grace. My love, my compassion. My gifts to you. The gifts I gave you not to use for yourself, but to use for others. In building up the kingdom and the church and the body. You missed it. And now your life's required of you. And the only thing you're going to have at this point is a piece of ground about 6 foot by 3 foot. That's it. Those barns aren't going with you. Where is God? Where is God in this beginning to the end? Where is he in that process of life? He's there. Well, then where are we? Where are we? A lay minister named David Waters. He's from Grandview United Methodist Church in Kansas. One time he wrote, the Bible is consistent in the theme that we are given to so that we might give to others. We are blessed so that we might be a blessing. We are loved so that we might love. We are reconciled so that we might reconcile. We are forgiven that we might forgive. All these characteristics of Christ himself. We're called to be the hands and the feet and the presence of Christ in the world. That's our image of God. That's when we're at our best. It's like the story of a young boy who was walking home one day after going to Sunday school. He was walking along, he just couldn't stop thinking about the lesson for that day. And one of the things the teacher said, when you give something to another person, you're really giving to Jesus. He went down to the park and he noticed this elderly woman sitting on a bench. She looked lonely, she looked hungry. So he sat down next to her and he took a chocolate bar out of his pocket that he was saving. He offered her some. She smiled at him and said, sure. He liked her smile so much that after they'd eaten that chocolate bar, he took some more and offered her some more, and she smiled more, and they both ate a little more, and they just sat there basically in silence eating a chocolate bar together. Finally, the boy got up to leave, and as he began to walk away, he turned and ran back to this lady and gave her a great big hug. And after that hug, she gave him one of the most beautiful smiles he'd ever seen. He got home and he just had this glow on his face, and his mom said, "You look so happy. What happened today? What happened?" He says, I shared my chocolate bar with Jesus. And you know, she has a great smile. But the lady got home. She lived with her sister. She too, her face was glowing, and her sister said, "Wow, you look so radiant. What happened? What made your day so happy?" And she said, I was sitting in the park, eating a chocolate bar with Jesus. And you know, he's a lot younger than I thought he was. But isn't that what it's about? Isn't that what it's about? In this life that we're given, being the very presence of Christ to others, making a difference, being that image in what Christ made and what God made us. His very image of love and grace and compassion to the world. And when we do that, just like these people at Smyrna, their pockets may have been empty, but their lives were rich. Rich in the fullness of God. In our lives, we know where God is. The question for us is simply this: where are we? Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you this day for your love and for your grace. We thank you for this time that we have to come into your presence and search our own hearts and our own lives, knowing that you truly are a great and a dynamic God. That you are there in our lives from the beginning to the end, before and after. We ask that as your people, as we walk the path of this life that you've given us, that we can truly understand the presence of your grace, your will, your love, and your Son. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.